Grant that it may perform it as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Thou members of Parliament and Ministers of State with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that we may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day, the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, we begin proceedings with the correction of votes and proceedings for Wednesday, March 2022. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, page 15, page 16, page 17, page 18. Honourable members, in the absence of any corrections, the votes and proceedings of the 26th sitting of the first meeting held on Wednesday, March 9th, 2022, is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honourable members, we have the official report of Friday, February 18th, 2022. Any corrections? Yes, Honourable Member for Newtafo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Column number 14, paragraph 2, if I'm right. Mrs. De La Soa Pando Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister for Communications and Digitalization when the following communities in it's not there, in the Pando constituency, and again, will be provided with is also missing, with mobile network connectivity.
Honourable Member, hold on. Did you say column 14?
Column 14.
1-4.
Yes, please, 1-4.
I'm not reading that. Start with Mr. Second Deputy Speaker. Does it start from there? Very good.
The last sewer, Pando. Mr.
My
Speaker.
column 14, there's no Mrs. De La Soa. Can you look at the date of?
I mean, the official report.
Yes, the official report of 18 February 2022.
The date is 15 February 2022.
Column 14.
Yes, please.
Wow. Mr. Second Deputy, on this one, we will move to item number 6 on the other column 4.
This one. So, Mr. Speaker, if you check column 14,
look at the date again.
15 February.
We are doing 18th February. What you hold was corrected yesterday or the day before yesterday. Right. Sorry. Any corrections, please? I'm getting the advice that members may not have copies of the 18th February official report. Is that the case? You have the 18th February?
Mr. Speaker, I think that's the case because you don't have the one you are referring to.
The 18th February. What you have is 15th February.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I see. Very well. Any more corrections? In the absence of any corrections, the official report of Friday, February 18, 2022 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Yes, so now members, we'll move on to item 5, urgent question. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, on the agent question, the minister responsible is unavoidable absence as he is engaged in foreign affairs.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, unavoidable absent or she. The minister is supporting the president in Dubai at Ghana Expo. Is that the explanation you have? For our purposes, Mr. Speaker, we are aware that the president is in Dubai seeking to promote and attract foreign direct investment, and is accompanied by the foreign minister. If you are checking your sources well, she's on board a flight back to Accra. She should be arriving today, but certainly not this hour. She should be arriving, from my sources, she should be arriving around 11:12, ahead of the president. So, Mr. Speaker, this excuse is acceptable. We can proceed to
so she is unavoidably absent. Very well. I don't even know whether the question itself has not been overreached, because the information that is sought in the question is in the public domain. So technically, it's no longer a question to be asked. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, that's so. So with your leave, if we can start with 243, the minister responsible for fisheries and aquaculture is available.
Very well. We'll move on to item 6 and start with the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture. Honorable Minister, kindly take your seat. Question number 243 is in the name of the Honourable Member for Tema East, Isaac Ashai Odampton. Yes, you may ask your question now.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity to ask the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development why industrial trawlers are requested to still pay for fishing license for the 2021 close season of 2 months. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Fisheries Act 2002 at 625 that licenses are renewed annually, semi-annually or quarterly, and payment effected before license is granted. Vessels are issued license quarterly, and the 2-month close season is observed within a quarter. If the close season falls within a particular quarter, the vessel is by law required to possess a license for that quarter. Additionally, Ghanaian vessels which have obtained license to fish in other countries, that is third party, must possess a valid license from Ghana. Therefore, if a vessel needs to fish in a third party state, the license fee must be paid to obtain the license. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member, any follow-up question, please?
Mr. Speaker, I have a follow-up for the Minister. That if the close season is a government policy for fish conservation, then my question is, why should, and again, the licenses are not for vessel ownership, but to fish, license to fish. And so, why should the trawlers be made to pay for the close season when they are not fishing? Thank you.
The same question repeated. He has given you the answer. Kindly ask another one, please.
Mr. Speaker, in the answer of Minister, the last sentence, with your indulgence, I read. So therefore, if a vessel needs to fish in a third-party state, the license fee must be paid to obtain the license. What if it's to fish within the territorial waters of Ghana?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my answer says the closed season falls within a particular quarter, the vessel is by law required to possess license for that quarter. And we have 3 months in a quarter, Mr. Speaker. So if the vessel needs a license to operate in that quarter, and the closed season is within the quarter, whether it is 2 months or 1 month, the vessel must pay, because what about the 1 month? And it is backed by law. Unless maybe we still want to repeal the law, then we'll bring it back to Parliament. But for now, that is what the law requires, and we cannot do otherwise. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, it's a fact that Ghana's fishing license appears to be the highest globally. And following from the minister's answer, the law requires the license to be either annually, biannually, or quarterly. The minister emphatically states that the license is quarterly, but the reality is that they pay it annually. And so it's a bigger burden on the fishing industry in Ghana.
Sorry, I want to understand you, that if a person applied for a quarterly license, it will not be issued to the person. Is it compulsory? Are they compulsorily implementing only annual licenses?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Minister, can you explain why you compulsorily enforce or sell only annual licenses? Says that from your answer, licenses are available for annual, half yearly, and quarterly. But in practice, you issue only annual licenses, which covers a quarter, which they don't have a full utility.
Mr. Speaker, to the best of my knowledge, the licenses are issued quarterly, not annually. The Act says annually, quarterly, or semi-quarter, or semi-annual. But then the practice is that they've been paying quarterly, and that is the licenses I have been issuing since I assumed office. I've been issuing only quarterly license. That is what I know for now. Thank you.
Are you done? Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, the issue of the quarterly payment justifies my question that if the quarter has 3 months and you close the season months, it is absolutely unrealistic, unfair to charge tonnage for the 3 months. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
I think he has answered that question. You may sponsor an amendment to the Act if you so desire. Yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. I have a follow-up to the Minister. The quarter is 3 months, and the closed season is 2 months. So effectively, the fishers have just 1 month. Will the Minister consider a policy that may bring an amendment to ease the burden on the industrial operators in that fishing industry?
Yes, Honorable Minister, do you intend to propose an amendment to that part of the law?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I mentioned earlier on, then we will need a new act to do this, because this is backed by law. And we should also remember that the government is also burdened by giving relief items to these fishers when there is closed season. So if the vessel owner is to pay 3 months, At the same time, government is giving the person a subsidy. I'm not sure the person is losing more than the government, but to the best of my knowledge, unless maybe it's brought into parliament for the act to be maybe amended, but for now that is the act.
Do you want to bring an amendment to the House?
Mr. Speaker, no, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Minister don't intend bringing an amendment, but she also justified the current situation by the subsidy that they enjoy. What is the parity between the payments they made for the license for the 3 months, which is a quarter, yet they have only 1 month of activity? What is the parity between that and then the subsidy they enjoy? What is the parity?
Honourable Minister, do you have how much you spent and how much it cost them? Do you have any such comparison?
Mr. Speaker, I don't have that ready, so I'll come back. Thank you.
Very well. We'll move on to question number 245. Sorry. Yes, 245 in the name of the Honourable Member for Salaga South, Ms. Zuera Mohammed Ibrahim.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I have his leave to ask the question on his behalf, her behalf. So, with your leave, can I proceed?
Very well. Please proceed.
To ask the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development what plans are to establish landing beach at Ugede, Deveglu, Sabonjida, Aunikope, and Sope, all in Salaga South constituency.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the ministry has no immediate plans of establishing new landing beaches at Pojedi, Davulgo, Sabonjida, Awun, Klepo, and Sopo in the Salaga South constituency, because they all have access to premise fuel, which is available at nearby landing beaches. The number of landing beaches committees for every district or municipality is based on weekly demand and level of fishing-based activity of the district. This was done to curtail diversion. However, management is open to discussions leading to the creation of landing beaches where there is a genuine need. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to find out from the Minister that he made mention in the answer that there will be no immediate provision. Is there any provision in the future?
She also added that they are open to discussion of the same matter.
Yeah, she made mention that immediately there is no provision. And then looking at the communities they are meaning. So my question to her is there any provision in future? Would like to know.
Honourable Minister, you said there is no immediate plans. Are there future plans?
Mr. Speaker, that is why I said the ministry is open for any discussions for plans to open or not. Thank you.
Yes.
So that's one.
Very well. The next question is question number 417. It's in the name of the member for Y East, Godfred Sedi Josor. Yes.
Thank you. I arise on order 48 of the standing orders. If I can read. Order 48. The presence of at least 1/3 of all members of parliament besides the person presiding shall be necessary to constitute a quorum for the House. We do not have a quorum. Yes. And therefore it will be illegal if we continue conducting business in this House with this number.
Yes, I want to hear from the leadership on his intervention.
Right, Mr. Speaker, when we started, I think the honorable member was not here. He just joined us. He just entered the chamber.
He is still entitled to raise the issue. Do you have a response to that?
Mr. Speaker, we had phone quorum when he was not here. So,
yes, minority leadership, I want to listen to you. Minority leadership, do you wish to comment on the application? Very well. It doesn't appear to me that the minority leadership wish to say anything in respect of that. I've given the option on 3 occasions. None of you was responding to it. Very well. Now let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, the rule says that the bell will be rung for 10 minutes, and after that, we'll be at your mercy. So far I'm concerned, we can carry on with business whilst we wait for your time, 10 minutes of your time.
Very well. Honorable member for Karaga, is that right? Tamale Central.
Honorable MP for the choir.
I was trying to find out your constituency. Tamale Central. Very well. When you read Order 48, as you did, it has 2 sub-orders. There's 1 and there's 2. The 1 talks about the number to be present to form a quorum. The 2 determines what is to be done when the number is not up to the number required to form a quorum. So I intend to rely on Order 48.2, in which says that at that point, I cause the bell to be rung, and if after 10 minutes we still don't have the numbers sufficient to form a quorum, I may decide to adjourn proceedings. So I direct the table office to ensure that the bell is rung, and then I will count from that time. Thank you. Let's proceed. Honorable Wais, can you ask your question, please?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development the legal basis for the operation of the Gigbo Moffat bank account at the First Atlantic Bank and who the signatories are. Mr. Speaker, may I give this caveat that this question
Honorable member, you're only entitled to ask a question. Now you have asked it. Kindly resume your seat. She will answer. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2013, Ghana agreed to implement the Observer Program to help monitor vessels at sea. As a result of inadequate staff to cover the 70 vessels at the time, the ministry decided that the vessels should go to sea on rotational basis, which was communicated to owners of industrial trawlers. The Ghana Industrial Trawlers Association, GITA, after a meeting, informed the ministry that it was willing to pay for the emoluments of the observers if only the ministry, through the Fisheries Commission, was going to recruit and train adequate observers to cover each vessel. GITA therefore established the account to support the payments of the observers and made the Fisheries Commission a signatory to the account. There are 2 signatories to the accounts, one each from the association and the Fisheries Commission. The Commission reviewed these arrangements and now pays the observers from its budgetary resources. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Any follow-up question, please?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker. May I know from the Minister if we have any Auditor General's report on this account?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware of any such.
But, Honorable Minister, is that a public fund? If it is, yes.
Mr. Speaker, it's a private fund, not a public fund. No, the ministry has now taken up to pay them. So subsequently, they will be auditing on that. But the previous one, no, that one was a private arrangement. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Fisheries Act, Act 625, Section 100, outlines how the observers are to be recruited and the fact that they are public officers. Would the Minister admit that by this arrangement, the ministry engaged in an illegality?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
No, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, by the arrangement the Minister outlined, it means that the observers pay to observe the trawlers. In other words, the trawlers pay the observers to go and observe them. Anyway, my final question, is this account now closed? Once the minister say they are now paid from the ministry, have they closed that bank account?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I cannot say much about the account because it was GITA that opened the account, as I stated in here. So I don't know much about the accounts as we speak. Thank you.
Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, from the minister's response, she cannot tell the House about who are the authority to the. I know if she can provide that later to the House, and if that just by some kind of information she can tell this House whether she's a signatory to the account. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, are you a signatory to the account?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in my answer, I mentioned that it's the associations that are signatory and the Fisheries Commission. For me, no, I'm not a signatory. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to find out from the Minister, based on the answer she provided. She stipulates that Fisheries Commission, which is under her ministry, is a signatory to the account. Can she confirm that? If so, then can we get the officials who are signatory to the account?
File your own question. This is not a follow-up, please. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, from the Minister's response, GITA has been involved in the emolument or the payment of emolument to observers. And two things come to the fore. The number of days the vessels stay offshore and the issue of compromising observers on the vessels. And so if the people who are supposed to be controlled are the same people who are recruiting and paying, then we've lost the essence of supervision or oversight for the ministry.
File your own question, and then she'll prepare and come and answer it. Very well. We'll proceed to question number 418. Honourable Member for the Crew. Governors, Kwame. Governors Agbeja.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to ask the Honourable Minister responsible for Fisheries and Aquaculture development what steps the ministry is taking to stop foreign-owned vessels from illegally fishing in Ghanaian waters.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the only foreign flag vessels that fish in Ghana are those who come through an access arrangement. In accordance with the fisheries law, it is only the tuna subsector that allows for joint ventures between Ghanaians and foreigners. As part of efforts to combat illegal fishing, the ministry has deployed vessel monitoring system and automatic identification system to detect in real time vessels that engage in illegal fishing activities, especially vessels without license to fish in Ghanaian waters. Thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker, thank you. I thank the Minister for the answer. Mr. Speaker, on June 3rd, 2021, BNFT reports, and I quote, EU warns Ghana against illegal fishing. On the September 17, 2021, Ghana Business News also writes how illegal fishing is destroying Ghanaian fisheries sector. Mr. Speaker, may I find out from the Minister if the ministry and the agencies related to the monitoring of illegal fishing have arrested and prosecuted any for the past 2 years?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I know is vessels who have infractions have been prosecuted, some have paid, some are still with the court. That is what I know for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Minister said in her answer that the ministry, and let me quote, Mr. Speaker, she says, as part of efforts to combat illegal fishing, the ministry has deployed vessels monitoring system and automatic identification system to detect in real time vessels engaged in illegal fishing. May I ask the Minister if her outfit is one doing this, or they are relying on Ghana Maritime Authority or any other state agency? Is the ministry actually carrying out the monitoring by themselves?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The ministry has an agency under it that is responsible for this. And we also do the VMS with the FCWC, in collaboration with FCWC in our region. So it isn't even only Ghana that monitors, but the whole of the sub-region. Thank you.
Yes. Honorable members, order. Yes, Honorable Agboja.
Mr. Speaker, the same report carries that 90%. Minister. Mr. Speaker, the minister is being engaged somewhere. Her attention is on.
Honorable Minister says, want your attention.
Minister, the same report says, and I quote, 90% of trawlers who illegally fish in our waters are Chinese-owned with Ghanaian front companies. Are you aware that some unpatriotic Ghanaians are fronting for licenses and hiving off those licenses to Chinese company to overfish in our waters? Has that come?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, vessel owners who have obtained license from the ministry are Ghanaians, and that is what I know. I don't know of any foreigners or Ghanaian fronting for foreigners. I know Ghanaians have the license and they are fishing. Thank you.
Question number 419. Sorry, 418. Honorable Agboja Collins. Order. Honorable Agboja Collins, Kwame, you have. You often 418 is yours, yes. Okay, 419. Keta, Kwame Jujoli Gape.
Right, Honorable Speaker. You are asking questions. Let me see
Yes, I will proceed with your question.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development what role the ministry is playing towards cross-border collaboration to ensure enforcement and adherence to the pro-season for the fishing at sea.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, fish trace boundary, therefore managing fisheries requires a cross-border approach. The ministry has relied on international and regional fisheries management organizations such as the Fishery Committee of the West African Gulf of Guinea, that's FCWC, to address these cross-border challenges. The FCWC is a regional body that consists of Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin, Ghana, and Nigeria. Discussions are underway with member states of FCWC to ensure a joint close fishing season in the near future. Thank you.
Yes, any follow-up question, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to find out, based on the answer provided by the minister, I say,
yes, proceed.
She said plans are underway to have joint meeting so that they have a fixed time of feast where all those countries mentioned close season will come to the same time. Because I would like to find out from the minister, can he give assurance that other neighboring countries will comply with what we are saying?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the discussions have begun and other member countries are interested. And so I believe they will all cooperate when the time comes for us to observe the fishing close season. Thank you.
Yes, any more follow-up questions, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm done.
Question number 547. The name of the honorable member for Lejokuku, Benjamin Nate Ayiku.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Fisheries and Agricultural Development what is being done to ensure constant supply of premium fuel to enhance fishing activities as a source of livelihood for our fishermen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the tracking system currently in place allows regulators to monitor the transportation of products from the loading depots to designated locations to ensure the availability of the products at the landing beaches. Plans are also far advanced to roll out the automated fuel dispensing units at landing beaches to make the product available for fishermen at all times. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, from the minister's answer, she said once a far advance, she rolled out the fuel dispensing unit at the landing beach. May I find out from the minister what detailed plans has she got? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member is a member of the committee that has oversight responsibility for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development Ministry. And he will attest to the fact that the ministry has come before the committee to inform the committee about the plans to do the automation of the premise fuel. And I've just spoke with the chairman. He's also planning to call for another meeting, and after that meeting, I believe we can go ahead with the automation system. Thank you.
Any more further questions, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my people, or my fishermen from the Jukuku, when they have this, they want to know when this automated system will begin. So if the minister can give us timelines, we'll be very happy. Thank you.
Honourable Member, it says that there's a committee you are part of, and you have announced that there will be another meeting. After that meeting, that the timelines will be available. The answer she just gave responds to your question. So, if you are done, I will move on. Very well. Yes, the Honourable Member for, is it Elmina? Commander. Very well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would like to ask the Minister, from her answer about the tracking of premix fuel. Madam, there used to be a blue color in the premix, and the color has been taken away. How are we ensuring that this premix is not ending up in the old diversion way, going to the fuel pumps?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to assure the Honourable Member that the premix fuel will not end up at the fuel stations. Why? Because very soon the premix fuel will be using condensate from Ghana gas to prepare the premix fuel. And I'm not sure vehicles can use those condensates in their vehicles. The Cabinet has given approval for us to use the condensate, so it's almost, the preparation is complete, and very soon they will start using it. So by the time we start with the automation, this is also has been rolled out, then we can do that. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that the minister had engaged her, and she assured me that the present committees at the various landing sites have gone beyond their tenure pursuant to the airline. Are you in a position to inform the House whether you have reconstituted the committees and whether they've begun work for their new term? Thank you.
Member, how does that flow out from question 547 of the answer? This is reconstitution of the committees. Is that right? But I think her answers have so far been on premix fuel, so the committees do not come in. You may ask your own question if you want answers on the committees, please. Any more follow-up questions? Do you have a follow-up question on the fisheries?
I rose on point of order 48, and you gave a ruling. And you indicated that the standing orders, 48-2, counting be started after the bell is rung. We are in almost 30 minutes after your ruling was given, and the standing orders are very clear, 10 minutes. So our conducting of business without adhering to what is stated palpably in the standing order, for me, is unfortunate. So I want your guidance. Perhaps there is another time I do not know. So I just want to know why the Speaker wouldn't adhere to the standing orders, which is the guiding principle of the House.
Honourable members, I have very much the time required in my mind, and I'll be guided by it. Thank you very much. Any more follow-up questions on the... Well, Honourable Minister, thank you for attending upon the House to answer questions. You are discharged. You're late. I'm sorry. I've discharged here. I didn't realize you were coming to ask a question.
Mr. Speaker, now if we can move to item 7 on the order paper. Item 7. Statements.
Yes, Honorable Deputy Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Member for Tamale Central raised the issue of Order 48. You rang the bell, and by the rules, it is your watch that will determine the 10 minutes or otherwise. I want to find out from you if your watch is still counting within the 10 minutes.
Yes, it is still counting. It is still counting. That's why I said I'm very conscious, and I'll. If you want to make another application of your own, you're entitled to. But in the meantime,
Mr. Speaker, I want to know whether it's your wristwatch or the watch that we're all using here. Is it your wristwatch, your phone watch, or the one we're all using in the chamber?
I recall how many times this issue has arisen in the House. The number of times that what kind of watch Mr. Speaker is using has been answered on so many occasions in the House. I'm guided by what has been the previous answers. That Mr. Speaker's watch is determines when his time will come. So I'll work according to my watch. Don't worry. As there's a watch in front of me, which is different from what you're looking at.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. But I think that if it is your watch, we should know. Ghanaians should know that it is your watch. And I ask, is it your wristwatch, or your phone watch, or which one? Just be kind to tell us that it's your wristwatch. So that you can really show it to us.
I hope you become a speaker. You realize that there's a huge watch sitting in front of you. Anyway, I asked the bell to be rung. Now, the table office, can you count for me the number of members here in the chamber? Yes, meanwhile, statements. We agreed that a commemorative statement on the World Kidney Day will be the statement I'll be taking. So, whilst it's counting for me, the honorable member for, is it Afija Kwabre North? Honorable Collins Adwa Kumensa, you may start reading your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With your permission, I would like to ask the table office to capture the entirety of the statement whilst I read certain portions of it. Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to deliver a statement as the entire world celebrates the World Kidney Day today, 10th March 2022. Mr. Speaker, every year the World Kidney Day is celebrated globally to raise awareness of the importance of our kidneys to the overall health and to reduce the frequency and impact of kidney disease and its associated health problems worldwide. The celebration of the World Kidney Day started in 2006 with the theme, Are Your Kidneys Okay? The theme for this year's celebration is Kidney Health for All, Bridge the Gap to Better Kidney Care. Mr. Speaker, the functions of the kidneys cannot be overestimated. The kidneys primarily remove toxins and waste products from the blood, which are further removed from the body through the formation of urine. The other functions of the kidneys include controlling blood pressure, activating vitamin D from the sun in the body, controlling water balance, controlling acid-base balance, and producing a hormone called erythropoietin, which plays a key role in the formation of blood cells in the body. In addition, The kidneys ensure that all electrolytes such as potassium, sodium, phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, and the rest are all maintained in their right balance necessary for the normal functioning of the body. Any distortion in these functions cause serious problems in the body. Mr. Speaker, as the entire world celebrates World Kidney Day, let me take this opportunity to highlight some of the challenges the country is facing in the effective treatment and prevention of kidney disease in Ghana. 1. High cost of dialysis. Mr. Speaker, the cost of treating a person with kidney disease is very expensive. As I mentioned earlier, people who have kidney failure will have to undergo dialysis to survive. However, the high cost of dialysis has led to the premature death of many people who could not afford to pay. For example, a patient undergoing 3 sessions of dialysis per week at Kolebu Teaching Hospital will need to pay 50,700 Ghana cedis per year for treatment. This amount is exclusive of laboratory investigations, medications, and transportation to the hospital. How many of us can afford this amount in a year? 2. High cost of kidney transplants. The expensive nature of kidney transplants in Ghana serves as a hindrance to many who may be willing to have the treatment. Currently, a person with kidney failure needs more than 120,000 Ghana cedis before kidney transplant can be done. For this reason, many of them always travel to India for kidney transplants because it is relatively cheaper there. In addition, the current long-winding legislature around organ transplants is the reason why very few kidney transplant cases have been done in Ghana. In fact, since 2009 till date, no kidney transplant has been done in Ghana, partly due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 3. Limited access to dialysis. Hemodialysis is the most common form of dialysis in Ghana. This type of dialysis is done using a dialysis machine to filter the blood. It is sad to know that majority of the regions in Ghana do not have dialysis centers and machines. This limited access to dialysis treatment in Ghana has led to premature death among people with chronic kidney disease. In 2016, the number of dialysis centers in Ghana were 15, with 103 dialysis machines serving over 30 million people. Out of the 103 machines, 65 machines representing 63% were located in Greater Accra only. 4. Uncontrolled advertisement and sale of certain herbal concoctions. The proliferation of herbal medical centers and their advertisement on our main and social media platforms need to be monitored by the Food and Drugs Authority. Some studies have shown an association between herbal medication use and the incidence of the disease. For example, acute kidney injury from the use of herbal remedies is said to account for about 30 to 35% of all cases of acute kidney failure in Africa. Pollution of soil and water bodies. Mr. Speaker, the pollution of water bodies and our soils can have serious effects on our kidney health. We as a people should be worried about the consequences of illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey in Ghana. The continuous pollution of our water bodies, which with chemicals, will cause kidney disease in the people who drink from these water bodies. Some of these chemicals may find their way in our foods when we plant crops in these contaminated soils. For instance, arsenic and mercury used in processing gold, which increases the risk of kidney disease, can be found in the vegetables and other crops planted in contaminated soils. Shortage of trained nephrologists and nephrology nurses across the country. Not all health facilities in Ghana have nephrologists and nephrology nurses to attend to patients with kidney failure. This situation puts pressure on the few located in teaching hospitals such as Kolebu, Komfanoche, Cape Coast, and Tamale teaching hospitals. The main challenge is the huge cost of training these health professionals. In concluding, Mr. Speaker, the country should pay much attention to kidney disease since many of our citizens are suffering from it. Government should take steps to include dialysis on the list of treatments covered by the National Health Insurance Scheme. Just like Kenya, government through the NHIS should be encouraged to pay for 2 sessions of dialysis for citizens who need dialysis. Private individuals and corporate Ghana should also be encouraged to support the cause of kidney disease in Ghana. A fund to support kidney transplantation in Ghana should be established by government to raise funds towards supporting people who have donors but do not have the money to pay for the surgery. A conscious effort should be made towards increasing the number of dialysis centers and dialysis machines in Ghana. Government and the private sector should collaborate so that dialysis centers can be established in all districts and regional hospitals in Ghana. The Food and Drugs Authority should monitor and control the herbal medicine sector in the country. The Center for Research into Plant Medicine should also support the herbal medicine sector to get rid of herbal medicines that are detrimental to our kidneys. Government should continue to fight and win the war against illegal mining in the country. A successful fight against galamsey will not only save our environment, but also prevent kidney disease among the population. Mr. Speaker, government through the Scholarship Secretariat should provide funding for doctors, nurses, and other health professionals to train and specialize so that we can have qualified nephrologists to attend to our citizens. Finally, health education on the prevention of kidney diseases should be intensified, especially as the world celebrates World Kidney Day today. Education on simple steps such as drinking enough water, exercise, eating healthy diets, reducing salt intake, controlling blood pressure, and diabetes, among others, will go a long way to save many. The celebration of this year's World Kidney Day will be celebrated in Kumasi with a float, a public lecture, and a scientific meeting for health workers. The celebration is championed by the Ghana Kidney Association, an association of health professionals in the field of nephrology, and conduct education and free screening programs across the country. Mr. Speaker, kidney failure is a major problem, major public health issue globally, and I call upon the entire House to join the world in celebrating World Kidney Day 2022. Thank you once again, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Good one, Charlie.
The one behind you, will you that I give them the opportunity first or?
Okay. Speaker, respectfully want to draw your attention that yes, the issue of quorum was raised. You asked that the bell be rung, 10 minutes has long passed. You've asked that the number be counted. Approximately there are 19 members on the majority side and about 32 on the minority side. The Speaker, that is way below the approximately 93 numbers that we need to be able 93, 1/3, 193 that we require. The Speaker, I respectfully believe that this time you will be grateful that you let us adhere to the rules so that it will send more signal to all of us that others cannot just come and be helping to work in the chamber whilst others sit home or go to their constituency and expect business to run. So, Mr. Speaker, I respectfully draw attention to kindly let us adhere to the rules to adjourn. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The results have been brought to me. I'll deal with it. The counting report has just been brought to me. I'll deal with it. Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, he's saying something off record, but since he's not ready to own up, I will not refer him to it. Except that I get the impression that this morning he doesn't want a fight. He wants to be the good friend I know him to be. Mr. Speaker, he is talking about procedure and he says he has done some counting, but he knows that these things are done by the appropriate authority. That notwithstanding, whilst coming, I noticed that some members were moving into committee meetings and all that. So, Mr. Speaker, we may have to consider the application. However, we may have to ring the bell. Yes, we are aware that by the 10 minutes Mr. Speaker keeps the time. Mr. Speaker keeps the time. Mr. Speaker keeps the time. Yes, I heard it. I was in the office. Mr. Speaker keeps the time. So, Mr. Speaker, since we are the masters of our own rules, Mr. Speaker, we are the masters of our own rules. Mr. Speaker, the Supreme Court has not struck out. Mr. Speaker, the Supreme Court has not struck out that provision that allows us to be masters of our own rules. Yes, that is specific, and they are saying that just opposing that against the constitutional provision, they want to look at it again. So, Mr. Speaker, don't let us litigate. The practice is that you allow a member to speak. And Honorable Mutala, you are my good friend. You are not supposed to be shouting. Mr. Speaker, I rise to plead with Honorable Minority Chief Whip to allow the members who are very desirous of making comments.
Honorable Leader, are you done? You're still on your feet.
I've seen him on his feet, and I thought. So, Mr. Speaker, if Honorable Mutala would want to sit down for me to continue.
Honorable Deputy Leader, please conclude.
So, Mr. Speaker, I pray that you grant members the permission to comment on the statement made whilst we deal with the issue of quorum. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member for the body or the other one? Bia East, very well.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. The Deputy Majority Leader made a statement that we are masters of our own rules. Mr. Speaker, just yesterday, the Supreme Court made a ruling that, because article, I want to refer to article, yes, article 110, that Parliament may, Parliament by the standing orders regulate its own procedures. I'm paraphrasing. So we are no longer masters of our own rules. We are no longer.
No, allow me to go. Is that your contribution to this discussion as to whether to
So I don't want the deputy leader to just maintain that position again.
Honourable members, I find it very
yes,
disappointing.
and even order 1093 has been struck out from our standing orders. So even this standing order that we are holding is defective. Yes. Because it's part of the entire standing orders of the House. Part has been struck out. 1101. So, Mr. Speaker, we are not masters of our own rules. The Supreme Court can give another positive interpretation to the standing orders and struck part of it out. Oh. 1101. Mr. Speaker, I just want to buttress my point with Article 1101. 101. 101.
Honourable members, order. Can you read 1101?
Mr. Speaker, you need to come to my rescue.
Yes, I want you to read it. So.
Because he keeps telling us that we should listen to him in silence. But a leader trying to heckle a member on the floor.
It's all
we
right.
came to the house at the same time.
You have the floor. Can you read 1101?
Respect your colleague, though you are a leader. You are junior, seniors are talking. 101. Mr. Speaker, I'm referring to 101. One. The Speaker shall preside in Parliament at all sittings and No. What did you do to me?
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker.
Subject. It's down there. Subject.
Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, when you have more attorneys, these are the results. I rest my case.
I thought you were going to read 1101 to assist all of us. And please, for the avoidance of doubt, I'll read 1101, which is very cardinal to the discussion and the suggestions being made. Subject to the provisions of this Constitution, Parliament may, by standing orders, regulate its own procedure. So, everything Parliament does regarding regulation of its procedure is subject to the Constitution. So, what the Supreme Court said was that the particular standing order is against the Constitution. It has not taken away the right to regulate it, and that misinformation is going out unfairly. Leaders, I heard one of the leaders this morning, and I said, gee, we should not be misinforming the public when it comes to matters like this. Leaders should speak sparingly. So please, whatever we do here to regulate our business is subject to the Constitution. If for any reason anybody says a clause or otherwise is against the Constitution, it is the Supreme Court that will determine whether it is against the Constitution, or we ourselves say no, the Constitution does not give us the power to do A or B or C. Once that determination has been done, if a member wishes to ask for a review, appeal against that, it's open to us. But let's stop misinforming the public that the Supreme Court has taken away the power of Parliament to regulate itself. No. We still have the power to regulate our proceedings, except that we must work within, not outside the Constitution. Thank you. Honourable members, I think there's no more to be said. I asked the numbers to be counted. The result has been brought to me. The total number of members at the time the count was done was 41. I'm still looking around. I don't see any more members have joined the House. Accordingly, adjourn the House to tomorrow, Friday, 11th March 2022 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon.